here we are going to chalk paint a stencil on this linen tea towel. So I'm just applying some tape, which I gotta make sure that I'm not covering up the stencil area here. You know, this little part here. And I'm taping it just so it doesn't slide around on my linen. So I went ahead and I started with my linen, then I sewed this border on here. Again, I want to make sure I'm not taping over. What happens when you tape though, I found that it tends to want to bubble. So I'm going to make sure that I apply a little more pressure to my tape on the inside. Let's crinkle that a little bit so it's there. Okay. See how it wants to kind of bubble? So when I go paint this, I'm going to make sure that I'm holding down on that. There's probably a technical way to fix that. Okay, so I'm using chalk paint and I'm just dabbing into the chalk paint here, and I'm going to actually dab it off so that my foam brush is not overloaded. So and then I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to start with my crown. I'm holding this down here so it doesn't bubble, and I'm just going to go ahead and tap my paint down in this kind of smushy tap motion. I'm not going to want to go side to side because then that'll get the paint underneath the stencil. Okay, so again, I'm going to dab into my paint and then dab. Let's do, maybe I'll do over here because I want to work from the top down, or at least side to side, you know what I mean? So we're gonna dip into more paint, offload it a little bit, and continue to dab. Okay, I'm gonna dip in, offload, not to get too much on my on some of this. I'm kind of applying kind of a wiggle motion with my just to make sure that I'm getting a little. I don't want my paintbrush or my foam brush to be too saturated with paint. It'll seep underneath the stencil and then it looks really smushy, which isn't such a bad thing. I think it gives it kind of a vintage vibe. So okay, I'm gonna load up again. I'm gonna offload. Okay, we're almost, let me get done with this right hand side. Then I'm going to take off this stencil and I'll show you the end result. Once it's, the chalk paint is dry, you can go ahead and wash this in the washing machine and the paint will not come off. It really gets into the linen really well. Okay, let's see how well I did. So we're just going to dragging out the process. Okay. There we are. What do you think? Little Miss Queen Bee. Voila! Nice angle on the camera.